Hey lovelies, it's Alexa with Blue Woods Design, Mixed Media Art School, and today's Monday prompt project is texture. And I am creating this art journal page that is full of my favorite textures and grungy goodness, all that stuff. So to start off with, I am crumpling up some book pages and tearing it and slapping it down with some gel matte medium. And actually, I kind of have a dirty brush, but I didn't really mind because I knew I'd be doing tons of texture. I also did not mind if my papers folded over on each other, and I actually kind of did that on purpose. I wanted to add texture. And then I am grabbing some drywall tape. I have this kind with the little circles, little dots. And I like that kind because you can really tear it, and then it has stick on the back, so it's perfect. This is another kind of drywall tape that is more of that cheesecloth kind of look, and I'm using that. And you will also see me today, I'm going to use some light and fluffy modeling paste to make some texture, and I'm going to do that through a stencil. There you go, right there. I'm going to do it through a stencil, as well as just use my scraping tools and palette knives to just create all kinds of texture by both smearing it on, but then also tapping it to the page and lifting up and creating some of those pickup spaces. And I'm going to dry that. And then when it's dry, I'm going to start to play with a lot of inks and or fluid acrylics, things like that. When you are dealing with texture, one of the great things to do, and I know inks was one of our recent prompts, but inks are really great for this too because it settles into all those little grooves and nooks and crannies that you're creating with all this texture. So I do actually like to use things that are more fluid. You could use watercolors, you could use anything that's going to move a little bit. You could also use acrylic and water it down a little bit, and that'll start to do it as well. So I am using this, I think it's Nickel Azo quinacridone gold, and my dark green. I will link everything that I can down below, but I really like to start off with this combo when I'm going grungy because it looks kind of like rust and patina, and I love it. And I'm going to just keep adding more and more colors. I'm adding some brown here. I will add a little gold shimmer and some a shimmery teal as well, and then some white, and that's just sort of to push it all to the background a little bit. And another technique I do, besides just kind of letting this all settle into the little pockets of texture that I've got going on, is I will also, once I put down those other colors, I will put down some cling wrap or plastic wrap, and while it's still wet, I put it on there and then I let it dry. And when it dries on top of it, you get just this different texture that is really beautiful. The more you let it naturally dry, the better. I'm kind of a rusher. I don't like to wait 2 more days or whatever. So I do kind of help it along a little with my plastic wrap, and it doesn't give me the best version of this texture because I didn't wait as long as I should. But if you let that totally dry, you will be amazed. You'll pick it up and you'll have these little, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just really, really pretty. Okay, so next I believe I'm going to get right into drawing. So I did want to do a face, but I really wanted to do a grungy face. Oh, no, I'm not going to draw my face yet. First, I'm going to just scrape some paint on. And this is where you pick up just, like I'm just grazing the top. So you'll see like it touches the tops of those folded pages. It's even catching some of the light and fluffy modeling paste. It's getting all of it, right? Like, so I'm just grazing over the top with some gesso and emphasizing that texture that I have. And then I'm going to go in, I'm like, I need to add some color because I just felt like, let's really add some color. And here's like some close-ups because it's sometimes hard to get the true nature of how like textured this is. Like you just want to run your hands over it. It's really, really great. I do add some like quinacridone magenta and some like really bright yellow and a little bit of this emeraldy turquoise green. And I just, again, scrape that along the top so that I'm just barely getting bits of it on the things that are raised on the page. And I use different tools to do each one just to kind of vary it up. And then I'm going to go in with my Stabilo and create this really grungy face. And by creating a grungy face, I mean it is grungy. I use my Stabilo and a lot of like water from my water brush. I also end up putting in some gesso, but I put the gesso in with like a brush that's too big and I just kind of dab it where I want the white or the highlights. So I'm kind of taking the idea of texture and even going a little bit further with it in terms of letting go of my control so that things are kind of pooling or settling and like I'm really wetting the Stabilo and moving it all around and I'm mixing it even in with some of that gesso and it makes this like not just like that black color but also like a grayish tone. And I really truly just start like grunging it up. And I actually really love how she turns out and I find some word stickers at the very end and it just, I think the sentiment is quite cool for looking at the girl that I created and I just think just kind of goes with her. And yes, I do use cardboard because come on, the best texture there ever is. And I start with just thinking like, okay, I'll just use the cardboard as is. But then as I get going, I like want to clean up that extra paint, so I smear it onto this cardboard and I kind of love it. So then I smear the other cardboard in it. So my cardboard does end up with a little bit of that color on it too, which is kind of fun. And the cardboard is where I will put the words as well. And now I'm going to get to drawing my face. And here you can see I start drawing and oops, it's not dry. So I'm just kind of tearing the paper instead. So I give it a nice little dry and then I come back. And I just kept seeing this little shape that would have been the bottom of the nose. So I start there and then I start drawing my eyes and all that. And I start to make it really, really loose. Like like when I start wetting it, I'm just like, it's like the eyes almost get just fully blacked out and stuff. But that's because I wanted this like dark, I don't know, just really grungy is the only word I could think of. But I think it turns out beautiful, even though it's not like a traditionally like beautiful portrait. It's kind of a mess and I kind of love that about it. Like something about her is just really grabs me. And yeah, I'm going to let you guys just hang out and watch and I invite you to play along, make some texture. If you take anything from this, I'd love to see you guys doing texture in your background. If you want to do a page just like this, I am like so excited. I would love to see what you do, and just pay attention to how this girl evolves. Like, it looks scary right now, and I know that if you're like new to faces and stuff, like, this looks like scary, but we have a way of like moving through it, and don't be afraid. Like, at this point, obviously this page is grungy and messy. So don't be afraid of it being like, oh, it's a hot mess. Okay, so it's a hot mess. Like, work with it, see what you can do. But notice with that Stabilo, I can like really move it all around, and I start to shape the eyes a little bit more, and it all ends up working out. And we also have a second video for you this week by our resident artist, Renae. And I've already peeked at her project, and it is so cool and so good and so grungy. It's like you tend to go grungy when there's all this texture. But I will link her video below so you can check that out. And as of tomorrow, as I'm doing a face here, I thought I would mention, if you get nervous or are not as strong in your face drawing abilities, don't you worry. I have a Face Basics class coming out tomorrow. It will go on sale tomorrow. I will post in my group. And tonight I pick a winner for a free spot. So if you want to win a free spot in my class, just head to my Instagram or the Mixed Media Art School Instagram, and you can enter there. And I can't wait, and I'm so excited. But hey, just go play with some texture this week, make a mess, have fun, and I will see you guys again next week. Bye, guys.